Good morning, everybody. It is seven. Wow, excuse me. It is 7:29 in the morning, and it's Thursday, the 7th of June, and we are looking at our markets and what they are doing. Gold, literally, as I was just this is kind of irritating. I was just about to put in a long idea on gold, and then right as I hit the login, it just decided to shoot up, which is boo, unfortunate boo. But let's go ahead and look at our trades from yesterday starting off here. So, yesterday we had looked at going short on the pound at 110.18, or sorry, short on the dollar yen at 110.18, and that worked out. We didn't get up to 110.18, but it should have been in the value area where we decided to take that short. Certainly, based on where we're sitting, the dollar yen is having some struggle to hold above here. I still think this is a great short here. Oh yeah, and then we had a short at like 110.08 as well. That was all based on market geometry. That's where we're sitting, and so I'm just gonna if we didn't get into it, it is a nice short opportunity to look at in the dollar yen. What's interesting is that the yen index, JXY, is up and the dollar index is down and UJ is going up still. I mean, it is and it isn't interesting. So, something to keep our eyes on. Then we had a long on the pound. We wanted to go long at 142.2, which we did get. We had a little bit of a spike down this morning, and that was related to the Prime Minister's comments about Brexit and being a little more flexible with the timeline. That really doesn't change anything. To me, that was just a good adding into position. So I had exited during the initial drawdown, but then I re-entered this morning again. So the trade there, if you're still in it, is still active and good. The long at 134.58. We should expect it to continue to rise because on the weekly, again, we're looking at more prices moving up here as we're looking forward. Then we had a long on gold at 1303.41. We haven't gotten up there yet, but certainly we are more than likely going to get up there though. Just a lot of bouncing off of this zone. I think we should see the moves go up here in our gold index. Yeah, we'll watch this play out. We just had econ news come out here where we had jobless claims came out and they were better than expected. That seems to be the the going thing here. Jobless rate is. Oh, by the way, I have a new mic set up here, so please let me know if this is not going through as well. Oh, well, thank you, Igor. Thank you. Again, if you're new here, you can go to the portal and open up the chat and ask any questions if you have any questions. Let's see. Additionally, so jobless claims, the previous were 221, the consensus was 225, the actual was 222. So we were still just a tad higher than last week. Continuing jobless claims, worse than expected, but not by much. So we had previous was 1.726. The consensus was going to be 1.738. The actual was 1.741. So it was worse than the previous and the consensus. I don't know. Really not reading too much into that. Okay. We wanted to look at going long on the Aussie dollar at 76.6. That's based on the 4-hour Ichi. for our Ichimoku. Oh, I want to go do that over here. So we were discussing about going into this kind of a pullback to where if we got down here, and that's where we're sitting. We're sitting on that conversion line right now. Oh, actually, I take that back. I'm looking at my notes. That was another one. On the 1 hour cloud, we were looking at a pullback to the one at the 7.6 and seeing if that will hold as a support zone. Now, right now on the Ichimoku system, on the hourly and the Aussie dollar, well, we'll go review these and just want to keep punching through these trades from yesterday. So on the euro dollar, we wanted to go long on a pullback to 175 at 117.52, and if we look back to yesterday, we were on the 6th, and when we started talking, we did not really get a pullback at all. We got some pullback back to the baseline, but we did not get to that 52 zone. So, you know, depending if you follow the Ichimoku system or not, we would have gotten that pullback. But otherwise, we're in a strong maintaining bull here based on the hourly. Looking at the 4 hour, I think we're a little extended right now on the 4 hour. You know, ultimately, I believe we are still going to go higher, but I think we need to probably peel a little bit back here, at least in the forward, to come back to the conversion line. So we'll keep our eye on that, and those are our trades from yesterday. Now, let's go ahead and take a peek at Kryptos real quick. So we've got this really tight range here. I mean, okay, I'm looking at Bitcoin. It's about to break out on the 4 hour chart. But look at the daily chart. Look at how tight this range is. This is one of the tightest ranges we've seen in a long time. This is indicative of a move. This is telling us that there's a big move happening. On the daily, we look pretty ugly for downside movement because the stochastics are in this overbought territory, which is weird to say that we're overbought in stochastics because we're only $600 from the 29th to where we are now. We're up only $600, which is not a lot for Bitcoin. Ethereum, man, this is even tighter. Look at this range in here is just very, very constricted range. And in Litecoin as well. Well, a lot of the alts are finding some bids here, like Nano. It's been an underperformer for quite some time, but it's finding some buying here. So was Steam yesterday. IOTA, I think, is actually going to catch a little bit of a bid here. Bitcoin Gold. Anyways, we'll go back to our foreign currencies. We'll come back to cryptos. Thank you, George. Yeah, it's kind of I was doing some recording stuff, and I had an old client who had sent this stuff a long time ago, and then they went belly up right as this stuff got in the mail, and I was going through a bunch of my boxes of stuff in storage because my wife was telling me to clear more of these things out. I don't get this. I don't know. I think this is a normal thing, but when you get married and you buy a house together, all the dudes' stuff has to go. All the chick stuff gets to stay. It's sneaky. So, but I found this stuff and I'm like, I never actually use this stuff, and I think it works pretty good. Okay. Gold. Okay, looking at gold on the daily, little bit of, really, stochastic RSIs, indicating we're going up into some overbought conditions. But if we take a peek here on the weekly again, just kind of reviewing the weekly, we're very bullish on the gold trade on the weekly. Bringing us back down to the 4-hour chart. We are looking like we want to do a little breakout of the cloud. A strong buying candle here on the 4-hour chart as we're getting into the last 20 minutes here. Really, a lot of this movement has just happened within the last, 15 minutes that we've been talking. Nice drive up, and we're retracing a bit of that move. We'll see how sustained we can keep this move. But certainly on the hourly, currently on the hourly in gold, we do have a buy signal. So for those who are wanting a little risk, this is actually a good buy signal because we are above the cloud, conversion lines above the baseline. That cross actually just happened on the hourly. And then we have the lagging span break out of trading inside the candlesticks to trading up above. Yeah, George, it is true. Dang it. Things we do for love. Major lifestyle sacrifices. So I'm going to go ahead and I think we may experience a lot of chop in here and maybe a little bit of retracement, but otherwise I think this is an okay zone to be looking at. Otherwise, we could look at the 4-hour Ichimoku and we could wait here. I want to point out something that's showing a lot of signs of similarities and kind of a shared chart is look at the 4-hour chart of gold here and then look at a 4-hour chart of Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin. We have very similar clouds. In fact, we just take all we'll just take all the chart off. Where's the cloud? Oops. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. Okay, that is not making the point. But anyways, what I'm trying to make the point is that the clouds are very similar, and gold and Bitcoin is trading like gold right now. So if that is the case, if we're going to see some correlation and shared trading activity between gold and Bitcoin, then what we are looking at is a pretty nice what do we want to say? A pretty nice breakout pattern forming in Kryptos and gold at the same time. And if we want to use gold as kind of our standard to look at because cryptocurrencies are new and they're a lot more volatile, if you can believe it, than gold, then if we look at like a daily chart or just like we saw in the weekly, we have really strong buying conditions. So the dollar index continues to gain some weakness, and the yen is gaining some strength, and gold is gaining some strength, and we should look to see cryptos gain some strength. And so the 4-hour, the thing I really want to point out is that these breakout zones in gold and cryptocurrencies are all really in a lot of the same conditions, where we're near a breakout in the 4-hour charts, where the conditions on a lot of them are met for taking a long position, except the lagging span is just sitting outside of that. We have price above the cloud. We're about to go in it in Litecoin, but Ethereum is about to have a condition where if we trade up during this 4-hour candlestick, we break out of the cloud and then we move up. We're going to see some nice drives higher. And Bitcoin as well is really close to having a breakout of the lagging span in the cloud. And again, compare that to gold. That is what we're seeing here. So a breakout on the 4-hour chart with gold is definitely going to be that 1303.05. That's yesterday's. That is pretty much what yesterday's entry was. We'll go 1303.7 on the 4-hour Ichi. All right. Now, let's look at dollar yen. Dollar yen. Oh man. So on the Ichimoku system, this does not look like we should be taking a long or a short at the moment. But again, I want to relate this back to the market geometry and Gann's work, is that we've got this high and we've got this head and shoulder pattern forming, and we've just got this really ugly setup here in the dollar yen where we're just experiencing a lot of weakness, can't really trade any higher. We're breaking down below the 110 now, and I think finally the strength of the yen and weakness of the dollar is catching up to this pair. A lot of the people that got caught going along here over the last couple of days are going to be in a world of, they're probably in a world of pain already, but they're going to be, the pressure is going to really jump on them as we move lower. Certainly when we break the low here. So the short yesterday and then again that I brought up right away this morning is a good one still, with not a lot of risk associated with it. Aussie dollar continuing to churn higher here. You know, we again using the weekly charts as the basis of identifying our intraday trades. We see that we're in a bullish conditions on the Aussie dollar, and we've gone over this quite a bit over the last week or so. You know, where the goal is to get up to this range and then to look to short, but otherwise, not really looking to take any long here at the moment, unless the Ichimoku system says that we've got a good entry somewhere. And we would, let's look at the 4-hour though. Yeah, so the 4-hour Ichimoku is actually kind of, it's actually pretty supportive. I mean, it's finding support right on the conversion line here. That's where we're finding it, but we're sloping down, and we just kind of started a slope down on the composite index, and the stochastic RSI is pointing down. Yeah, I'm not interested in participating in this one right now, I guess. New Zealand dollar, very similar story, but damn if it wouldn't have been nice to go long. I just keep saying I'm not seeing any trade opportunities on here, but all it does is keep going up. We always miss the good ones. Well, we don't always miss the good ones. We always remember the good ones we miss. That's what I meant. Pound dollar. All right, let's look at this guy. That is some responsive buying there. That is some responsive buying. So, based on the 4-hour chart, where we're coming back up to, we've crossed back above the conversion line. The lagging span did cross above, but it kind of dipped back down. This is kind of bordering on trader's discretion. You know, if there's a return back up to probably 134.42 and we hold there, then we are okay going back long again. Because really, you know, just as we've been talking about with the other ones, we went over this yesterday. What the hell is this? Are these range charts? No. Shut up. Oh my Lanta. Oh man. Trading view. You just continue. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, oh man. That's badass. Okay. Never mind. That's a big deal. Range charts. When the hell did they do this? They didn't. There was no release on this. Oh, jeez. Okay. So looking at the weekly, the pound dollar is a very good buy, and so this is kind of an idea. So yesterday when we were talking about the pound dollar, and I said that on a weekly, or I think I said this yesterday, when we're looking at a weekly chart, and with the Ichimoku system, again, really don't need the conversion of the baseline because any breakout of the cloud with the lagging span breaking out is often something that sticks around for Jesus. John, I want to learn to trade. How can I get all of my knowledge? Oh man, that is very gosh. I don't know how you would get all my knowledge. Not because I think I have a lot of it, but because I don't know where to lead you in the right direction. Because learning how to trade kind of happens from a lot of trial and error. And the issue with um I mean, it depends on like what is it exactly that you want to know. Are you like the Ichimoku system or the Gann stuff, or oh, in range bars, they're they're a little different. They only take price, so they're kind of like Renko in that respect, where they only take price. There's no there's no time factor involved here. We're like time based charts that we were just looking at. They go like on daily, weekly, hourly, or minutes. Um, and and then whatever the time is going, it'll just reprint them. Range bars, they can print wherever, but the number of the bars that show up is going to be dependent on the size of the range. So the real there's a few components here. So each range bar has to close at the higher the low. Okay, and it has to open outside that higher low of the previous bar, and it has to have a higher and low that specifies the range, and that's from up here. And so it just kind of like very similar to Renko, and range bars are kind of what Gann used to do his swing charts on. Well, he used Kagi. Kagi is very similar to this. Uh, yeah, yeah. George is right. I've got to. There is in the education library. This is my fault. Ugh, gosh. In the education library, there's how to read my charts, the range there. I've got to get more in there. I've dropped the ball on that for way too long. I'm updating the education library. But yeah, Jesus, there's a couple. There's a book I would suggest. Let me find it here. On Gann, if you're interested in learning Gann, there's a great one, and I just gotta find it. Give me a second here, and then I'll get back to the charts. All right, where the heck are you? I know it's. The complete. Yeah, this is actually a good start here. I'll type it in here. It is the. Scroll up, I need the title. Complete Stock Market Trading and Forecasting Course. You can find this book, I believe, for free online. I think it's an out-of-print book, and you can find the PDF version for free. But if you want to get kind of a good start on how to apply Gann to your charts and understanding Gann's kind of approach, that is a very good book to start with. Michael Jenkins is one of the contemporary Gann students and really smart dude. Really smart dude. He has no shame about his level of nerd, which is great. And he's got this really he found in there, you read that book, there's something called a foldback. Did I go over foldbacks yesterday? I probably didn't, but foldbacks, or he called them mirrored foldbacks, are a really just a repetition of past price action, and it happens in these kind of patterns. So foldbacks, you can see them frequently, like like right now we are experiencing what you would consider a foldback, where if we were to divide this out, like we have, actually, let me do this on a new chart here. And we'll go with the dollar yen. So a foldback is really nothing more than price goes up and then price goes down, but it follows the same kind of path that it did. So if we look at this activity that was traded, was repeated over here. Can you see the structure? Doesn't have to be the exact same highs and lows. It's just, are you seeing a peak and a trough arrive kind of in the same cadence? And I wanted to go over this because I did that in there too. So if I go to the hourly, maybe, trading view. We can see that in here as well on the hourly. You can see how these trade. Those are called foldbacks. And you can, TradingView actually has a tool that not a lot of pieces of software have, which is kind of odd. But you can create your own kind of roadmap of a foldback. Instead of trying to like look at it and plot it out as you go, in TradingView there's a bar pattern tool, and it's on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7th toolbar. go to bar pattern, and I could just kind of click, well, I'll click up here. Single click there, and then bring it down to where we ended up with that low. And then there's our bar pattern, but we want to do the mirror image of it. So we right click and hit mirrored. And then we can place that on top of the current price action that we're at. And this will kind of give us a roadmap of what to look for as we're moving forward. So we're not looking for like the exact same range of price action or really the exact, we're looking just for examples of, you can see this better on a line chart, but you know, as we're moving forward, is there some type of swing high that is here? Sure, there's a high there. And then as we're, you know, trading, is there a swing high in this area? Yeah. Maybe that's not the best example. Let me, I'll do this. Look at the weekly chart of the dollar yen. And we can see, we'll just go from here to here. We can see that there is a strong mirrored move here. We can see the structure and the pattern does repeat quite often. And ultimately, you know, what we want to look for on these is really, you don't want to create so many different kind of tops here. What we want to really identify are big swings. So let me reset that, restore it to the same size. So what we're looking for are, from here is we're looking for a major swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, swing high, followed by some falling down and swing low. Okay, we see this. Can you see how this activity over here looks a lot like what's getting to be formed up over here? And that is called a mirrored fold back. And I tell you what, this is just another example of people like Gann and Elliott and Dr. Williams being correct by saying that the markets are really nothing more than a visual representation of a cycle, of a natural cycle. This is a natural phenomena, and that we are, as humans, unable to influence the direction of a market. We like to think we do on short-term time frames because of news releases or something, but I want somebody to prove to me that there has been one single news event that has caused a supramillennial change in an Elliott wave or a tremendous change in a trend that happened overnight, just like that. Because there's not one. There is not one. Because the moves happen well before. For instance, if we look back to the Brexit time, the pound was already moving down before the Brexit vote. Even before there was talk about a Brexit vote, the pound was moving down. We could go over the cycle analysis of the pound as long as we wanted, and we would see that there were predetermined time cycles signaling changes in trends, and that the news and human activity were just reactions. Okay, I am babbling way too much here. Let's go back to Kryptos. We were looking at the dollar yen and the weakness that is very inherent up at this level right now. Although I'm surprised at the strength of hanging on, but it is. Lower we go, the less bulls want to get in here, that's for sure. So that short there, Aussie dollar, we did that one. The pound dollar, still I in good longing conditions here. The euro, now the euro is right up against a pivot, an inner pivot, the first inner pivot after this major harmonic. So this area is looking like possible shorting zone. The issue is that we may not get to a point where we can short this here because there's a considerable strength on this rise. I don't even know if this has gone parabolic. The pitch is certainly elevated. I mean, this has, yeah, the the pitch of the slope has not changed. It's still in one angle, so it has not gotten overly nuts yet. I mean, maybe we could say that, yeah, well, it has, but this is kind of a long time for this to be going where we would consider it being parabolic. But certainly, you know, pointing to some type of weakness here, keeping our eyes on that. US dollar, Canadian dollar on the hourly, no trade. On the 4 hour, boof, no trade. This looks like the euro pound. Oh my god, what happened here? Did this actually do that? Son of a monkey. If I look at the right chart. Ooh, Aussie dollar actually looks heavy up here on this chart. Euro pound, euro pound, euro pound. Well, that on the 4 hour, based on the market geometry, looks like a short to me. It does not look like a long opportunity. On the Ichimoku system, bluff. Okay, oh man, this pair is just a it's just a wild one. No, not touching this. I want to wait for it to extend beyond this entire zone before taking a trade. It's ridiculous. Quick look at the gold. Ooh, gold actually traded back up. Get rid of these. Gold's actually trading above its 618 fib level. Well, that's interesting. It is experiencing a little selling pressure, but doesn't look like it wants to really push down any lower either. What was I looking for? Yeah, there's just not a whole lot. I mean, we could probably look at a short off the Aussie dollar here based on this chart. It'd be a pretty low risk trade. I mean, violating our Ichimoku rules, but man, it's got stopped right up against this arc, and we're not finding a lot of support. The 4 hours actually looking supportive for some buying conditions. The daily, though, man, that's looking heavy on the daily, and that's right up in, you know, right near the bottom of this cloud. Dang it. Yeah, it's yeah, it's a Aussie dollar be probably a good short opportunity here. Not for very long. I mean, 10, 20 pips at the most. It's just based off the daily. I'm more comfortable shorting something like the Aussie dollar based on the daily, especially when the weekly is already indicating that it's started to drive up. So on the daily, we could get away with a short-term short. But yeah, certainly, yeah, I want to be careful with this. I don't like tight stops, but this would be one of the tight stop. This is kind of one of those moves where people who got in long here and here, they're going to probably abandon their positions as we get down to the 76.30 zone, and it might cause a little bit of a waterfall. But that would probably more than likely be bought up pretty quickly. New Zealand dollar. Oops. Gosh, that's looking a little heavy too, isn't it? Dang it. Oh, it's irritating where gold is going in one direction, the Aussie dollar and the New Zealand dollar are not. Man, that's it's not an easy trade, but gosh, these are crazy conditions on the daily. That is a long time in the stochastic RSI on the daily up here. That is a long time. I was going to say we probably didn't see that until like last year, and then I think last June-ish it was, right? Last June? Yeah, last June was way up there too. I mean, the New Zealand dollar based on the daily chart up against the 45, up against this arc. We just crossed above a pivot without an inner pivot without getting a lot of responsive selling. So this is already screaming overbought. It's overbought on all of our oscillators. So the New Zealand dollar should be shorted right here, as wrong as it seems. I just can't not look at that as a good trade opportunity. Certainly not on the Ichimoku system, but just based on this market geometry, that is telling me that we are in a short zone. And it's going to be weird to see being short on the dollar yen and short on the New Zealand dollar and the Aussie dollar. Gosh, nothing's really making sense. The dollar index continues to show weakness. Tried trading up and it just sold down here. Man, there's funky moving markets lately. Just really, really odd ones. Anyways, I think those are pretty much what we've got for trades. Really not seeing... You know, on the 4 hour, on the pound, and on the Ichimoku, I don't think I put it. Yeah, we're gonna long on 134.40. Yeah. And then Jesus tomorrow on it because it's Friday and Fridays are kind of the one of the boring days of the week usually. Why don't if you have any questions between now and tomorrow, make a note of them, and if you have anything that you want to ask, just let me know in chat tomorrow, and I will do my best to answer those questions for you. That goes for anybody, really. If you have any questions or if you have any pairs you want me to look at or if you have a question about a trade I'm taking or not taking, please let me know. And please don't be afraid to ask because trading is a solo job. It is a lonely and it's a solo career. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't interact with other traders because oftentimes even another trader asking why you did something can make you think of it because as a trader we should be asking ourselves questions all the time and looking to find every reason in the book not to do something and every reason if we see something that is usually something that is hard to convince yourself to take a trade on is the trade that you should take. And I've always found it's great. When I first started trading, there was a small group of us with the and we had like a mentor for a little while, and we just got peppered with questions every time we posted a trade idea. So please ask questions. If there's one career and one job where you shouldn't be afraid to ask questions, it is trading, because holy crap, there's so much stuff. And if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. I mean, trading is, there's so much stuff. Like, I'm not a strong fundamentals person. I really don't trade off fundamentals. I'm purely technical, so I couldn't answer a lot of fundamental questions. But yeah, just sure, yep, yeah, and I'll go over more stuff tomorrow too. I'll do like a quick little rundown session of the Ichimoku system before we get into our trades on Friday. Go over the rules again, and I'll type the rules out and put them on the screen too. All right. Anyways, you guys have a great rest of your trading day. Hope you guys have had a good trading week so far, and I will talk with you all tomorrow. Bye bye.